1976 wasn't just a year, it was a detonation. 50 years ago, 15 albums exploded out of speakers and rewired rock and metal forever. These weren't just records, they were blueprints. They built arena rock. They sharpened heavy metal. From Boston engineering perfection in a basement, to Rush risking their entire career on a 20-minute sci-fi epic, from the raw electricity of Ramones to the metal foundations forged by Judas Priest and Black Sabbath, these albums didn't ask for permission. They changed the rules. And now, they're turning 50. Half a century later, every riff you love, every scream that shakes stadiums, every double kick drum assault, it traces back to 1976. This is not nostalgia. This is origin story. This is Metal Icons. Before we dive into number 15, hit that like button if rock runs through your veins, and subscribe to Metal Icons for deep dives into the albums, legends, and moments that built heavy music history. Drop a comment right now. Which 1976 album still hits the hardest for you? Let's see who the real metal lifers are. Now, crank the volume, and let's go back to 1976. Number 15, Boston. Boston.
I woke up this morning and the sun was gone. Turned on some music.
Tom Scholz revolutionized rock music from his basement. The guitarist and MIT graduate recorded the majority of Boston's self-titled debut using homemade equipment and revolutionary production techniques that professional studios had never conceived. His perfectionist approach and innovative multi-tracking methods created a sound that felt simultaneously massive and precise. Epic Records released the album on August 25th, 1976, launching what would become one of rock history's most commercially successful debut albums. The singles dominated FM radio for decades. More Than a Feeling, Peace of Mind, and the extended track Foreplay, Long Time, became fixtures of classic rock programming that continue to this day. The commercial impact proved staggering. The album spent years on the charts and moved over 25 million copies worldwide. In the United States alone, it achieved 17 times platinum certification, making it one of the best-selling debut albums in history. This wasn't just commercial success, it represented guitar-driven arena rock reaching its absolute commercial peak. Scholz's production innovations influenced generations of recording artists. Bands ranging from Def Leppard to Nirvana cited his studio craftsmanship as foundational to their own recording approaches. He proved that meticulous production work and raw rock power weren't opposing forces, they could coexist and amplify each other. The debut remains the standard against which rock-first albums get measured 5 decades later. Scholz's perfectionism created a template for melodic hard rock that dominated the next decade of commercial rock music, establishing Boston as architects of the arena rock sound that filled stadiums throughout the late 1970s and 1980s. Number 14, Rush, 2112. Mercury Records nearly dropped Rush after disappointing commercial performance from their previous releases. The label wanted simpler, more radio-friendly material. Rush refused. The Canadian trio Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, and Neil Peart insisted on pursuing their progressive vision regardless of commercial pressure. Released April 1st, 1976, the album featured a 20-minute title suite exploring themes of dystopian oppression and individual freedom. The ambitious concept piece told a story of artistic suppression in a future authoritarian society, themes that resonated with Neil Peart's libertarian philosophical interests. Geddy Lee's distinctive high-register vocals, Alex Lifeson's intricate guitar work, and Neil Peart's complex drumming and lyrical concepts merged into what many consider progressive rock's defining statement. The album achieved triple platinum status, completely vindicating the band's artistic stubbornness and transforming them from struggling Canadian musicians into arena headliners. The influence on progressive metal cannot be overstated. Dream Theater, Tool, and Mastodon built entire careers on foundations Rush constructed with this album, combining complex time signatures with hard rock aggression. The Starman logo became rock's most recognizable symbol of resistance to commercial compromise. Peart's lyrics about fighting conformity and maintaining artistic integrity resonated through generations of musicians who valued creative vision over radio-friendly singles. The album represented progressive rock's commercial and artistic breakthrough, simultaneously proof that uncompromising artistic vision could find a massive audience. Number 13. Kiss, Destroyer. Casablanca Records hired producer Bob Ezrin, fresh from his work with Alice Cooper, to craft Kiss's most ambitious album. Released March 15, 1976, Destroyer represented the band's transition from cult curiosity to mainstream rock giants. Detroit Rock City opened the album with car crash sound effects before exploding into hard rock theater. Shout It Out Loud became an instant arena anthem. The power ballad Beth gave the band their first top 10 hit, reaching number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 and proving Kiss could create genuine emotional moments alongside their theatrical bombast. Ezrin brought orchestras and session musicians into the production, expanding Kiss beyond their garage band origins into stadium-sized spectacle. The arrangements were more sophisticated, the production more polished, yet the album retained the band's essential hard rock energy. The album went triple platinum, establishing Kiss as mainstream rock giants rather than cult glam curiosities. Destroyer's production approach influenced everyone from Mötley Crüe to Marilyn Manson in combining theatrical presentation with legitimate musical ambition. The songs became Kiss's most enduring material. Tracks from Destroyer remained setlist staples throughout the band's 5-decade career, proving that makeup and pyrotechnics could accompany actual songcraft. Every rock band that prioritized spectacle alongside musical substance owes something to what Kiss and Ezrin achieved here, transforming comic book aesthetics into platinum reality. Number 12. Aerosmith, Rocks.
Down this way, she told me to walk this way. Down this way.
Columbia Records released this hard rock masterpiece on May 3, 1976, capturing Aerosmith at their peak of creative power and chemical excess. The album documented the Toxic Twins' Joe Perry and Steven Tyler at their collaborative zenith, creating riffs and songs that defined mid-1970s hard rock swagger. Back in the Saddle and Last Child showcased the Perry-Tyler songwriting partnership firing on all cylinders. Producer Jack Douglas captured the band's raw energy without sacrificing sonic clarity, creating a template for rock power that remains influential. The album achieved quadruple platinum status, cementing Aerosmith's position as America's greatest rock and roll band during the mid-1970s. The influence extended across decades and genres. Guns N' Roses called Rocks their primary influence, with Slash learning Perry's riffs note for note as a teenager. Even Metallica, representing a completely different genre, covered Last Child and acknowledged the album's impact on thrash metal's development. The groove and grit transcended stylistic boundaries. Critics consistently rank Rocks above the more commercially successful Toys in the Attic, recognizing its superior musicianship and cohesive vision. The album proved hard rock could be intelligent, dangerous, and commercially successful simultaneously, influencing 4 decades of rock bands who valued substance and swagger over polished commercialism. Number 11. AC/DC, High Voltage. Atlantic Records compiled tracks from 2 Australian releases for AC/DC's international debut, released May 14, 1976. The album introduced Bon Scott's raspy howl to American and European audiences, changing hard rock forever. It's a Long Way to the Top, TNT, and the title track, High Voltage, established the band's blueprint, three-chord thunder, and working-class rebellion. Malcolm and Angus Young's guitar interplay created rock's most primal sound since the early Rolling Stones, stripping away progressive pretensions and returning to raw power. The album built AC/DC's reputation as the hardest-working band in rock, launching an international career that eventually moved 200 million albums worldwide. The formula was deceptively simple but impossibly difficult to replicate: pure rock energy with no excess, no pretension, just power. Every hard rock and metal band that values simplicity over complexity owes something to this stripped-down approach. Motorhead, Metallica, and Airborne built careers on foundations AC/DC laid with these tracks. The album proved that rock didn't need progressive time signatures or conceptual ambitions to achieve devastating power. Bon Scott's death in 1980 made these recordings even more significant, capturing the original lineup's raw energy before stadium success smoothed the edges. High Voltage preserved rock and roll at its most dangerous and undiluted. Number 10. Thin Lizzy, Jailbreak. Phil Lynot's songwriting matured dramatically on this March 26, 1976 release from Mercury Records. The Irish bassist and vocalist combined poetic storytelling with hard rock firepower, creating songs that worked as both party anthems and genuine narratives. The Boys Are Back in Town reached number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 8 in the UK, becoming rock's ultimate anthem of masculine camaraderie. The song's narrative structure and character-driven lyrics elevated it beyond typical rock fare. Scott Gorham and Brian Robertson's twin guitar harmonies created a sound that influenced metal's next decade. The dual guitar approach, with harmonized leads and interlocking riffs, became a template that countless bands would follow. The album established Thin Lizzy as major players in mid-1970s rock, moving beyond cult status into mainstream recognition. Iron Maiden built their entire guitar approach on Lynot's twin-axe arrangements, with bassist Steve Harris calling Thin Lizzy his primary songwriting influence. Metallica covered multiple Lizzy tracks, acknowledging the band's impact on thrash metal despite the stylistic differences. The influence transcended genre boundaries. Phil Lynot's death in 1986 at age 36 elevated these recordings to legendary status, representing Irish rock's greatest international triumph. Jailbreak proved hard rock could incorporate sensitivity and storytelling without sacrificing power, creating a template for literate, melody-driven metal that persists today. Number 9. Black Sabbath, Technical, Ecstasy. Vertigo and Warner Brothers released Sabbath's 7th album on September 25, 1976. During the original lineup's creative and personal disintegration, internal tensions, substance abuse, and exhaustion from years of constant touring were fracturing the band that had invented heavy metal. Dirty Women showcased Ozzy Osbourne, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward, still capable of generating heavy power despite their deteriorating relationships and increasing drug problems. Bill Ward sang lead vocals on It's All Right, demonstrating the band's experimental desperation as traditional structures broke down. The album received mixed reviews and lower sales than previous releases, signaling the end of Sabbath's imperial phase that had defined heavy metal's birth. Critics noted the inconsistency, and fans sensed something was wrong with their heroes. Yet even diminished Sabbath influenced countless doom and sludge metal bands who valued atmosphere over commercial appeal. Sleep and Electric Wizard drew from Technical Ecstasy's darker moments, proving the album's cult significance despite mainstream indifference. Tony Iommi's guitar tone remained influential regardless of the song's inconsistent quality, maintaining Sabbath's position as metal's godfathers. The album captured a legendary band fragmenting in real time, making it essential listening for understanding how even titans eventually stumble, while still producing moments of genuine heavy brilliance. Number 8. Rainbow. Rainbow Rising. Ritchie Blackmore left Deep Purple, one of rock's biggest bands, to form Rainbow with vocalist Ronnie James Dio. This May 17, 1976 release on Polydor proved his vision justified. The partnership between Blackmore's neoclassical guitar approach and Dio's operatic vocals created something entirely new. Stargazer and A Light in the Black established Dio as rock's most powerful singer, combining operatic range with heavy metal aggression. His fantasy-based lyrics and dramatic delivery influenced metal's lyrical direction for decades. Producer Martin Birch recorded the album at Munich's legendary Musicland Studios, capturing a sound that bridged hard rock and heavy metal. Cozy Powell's thunderous drums beneath Blackmore's neoclassical guitar work created progressive metal before the genre officially existed. Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and Dio's later solo work all stemmed directly from this album's epic approach. Blackmore's classical influences inspired countless metal guitarists to study Bach and Vivaldi alongside blues progressions, expanding metal's musical vocabulary. The album became heavy metal's Sgt. Pepper, proving the genre could achieve artistic ambition without abandoning power. Dio's lyrics about mysticism and fantasy created metal's lyrical vocabulary for the next 4 decades, making Rainbow Rising the bridge between hard rock's past and heavy metal's future. Number 7. Blue Oyster Cult, Agents of Fortune. Columbia Records released Blue Oyster Cult's most commercially successful album on May 21, 1976, featuring the immortal Don't Fear the Reaper. The single reached number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100, bringing the band's intelligent hard rock to mainstream audiences beyond their cult following. Producer David Lucas encouraged a more accessible sound than previous releases, adding keyboards and softer dynamics without sacrificing the band's essential intelligence and edge. Patti Smith contributed backing vocals to The Revenge of Vera Gemini, connecting the band to New York's art rock underground despite their arena rock success. The album went platinum, proving hard rock fans appreciated sophistication alongside heaviness. Don't Fear the Reaper became rock's most famous meditation on mortality, a song that worked on multiple levels, catchy enough for radio, deep enough for repeated listening. Metallica and Him both covered Don't Fear the Reaper, demonstrating its influence across metal generations and subgenres. The song transcended its era, becoming a cultural touchstone that spawned countless cowbell jokes while remaining genuinely moving. Agents of Fortune proved commercial success didn't require dumbing down complex arrangements, influencing progressive metal bands who valued melody and intelligence. Blue Oyster Cult established themselves as thinking person's hard rockers with legitimate mainstream appeal. Number 6. Ramones. Sire Records spent just $6,400 recording 14 songs in 29 minutes of music, releasing punk rock's foundational document on April 23, 1976. Blitzkrieg Bop, Judy is a Punk, and I Wanna Be Your Boyfriend stripped rock to its essential elements, rejecting progressive complexity for primal 3-chord fury. Joey Ramone's vocals, Johnny Ramone's buzzsaw guitar, Dee Dee Ramone's bass, and Tommy Ramone's minimalist drums created the template every punk band followed. The formula was simple but revolutionary. Fast, loud, short songs with no solos, no pretension, just pure energy. The album initially sold poorly, but influenced thousands of bands who heard permission to start making noise immediately. You didn't need conservatory training or expensive equipment. You needed energy, attitude, and something to say. Metallica, Motorhead, and the entire thrash metal movement emerged from punk's Year Zero reset of rock orthodoxy. The Ramones proved technical virtuosity mattered less than energy and attitude, democratizing rock for kids without formal training. The album's influence extended beyond punk into metal, hardcore, and alternative rock, making it arguably the most influential debut in rock history. Four kids in leather jackets and torn jeans destroyed progressive rock's dominance, rebuilding rock from the ground up with this relentless 9-minute assault. Number 5. Judas Priest, Sad Wings of Destiny. Gull Records released Priest's second album on March 26, 1976, establishing the heavy metal blueprint that dominated the next decade. This album defined what heavy metal could be as its own distinct genre, separate from hard rock or blues-based approaches. Victim of Changes and The Ripper showcased Rob Halford's operatic vocal range and leather-clad imagery that became metal's visual standard. Halford's high-pitched screams established a vocal style that became metal's signature, influencing everyone from Bruce Dickinson to Rob Zombie. Glenn Tipton and K.K. Downing's twin guitar attack created harmonies that influenced every metal band from Iron Maiden to Trivium. The dual lead guitar approach, with both guitarists playing intricate, harmonized parts, became a metal staple. Despite poor initial promotion and limited distribution, the album built Priest's reputation through word of mouth among metal's growing underground community. Fans recognized something special, something that pointed toward metal's future. Iron Maiden's entire approach stemmed from this twin guitar template, with Steve Harris calling it essential listening for understanding metal. Metallica covered multiple Priest songs from this era, acknowledging its influence on thrash's development. Sad Wings of Destiny proved heavy metal could exist as its own genre. This was the moment metal truly separated from rock's past, establishing its own identity, aesthetics, and musical vocabulary. Number 4. Heart, Dreamboat, Annie. Mushroom Records released Heart's debut on February 14, 1976 inches, the United States, after Canadian success the previous year. Ann Wilson's powerful vocals and Nancy Wilson's guitar work on Magic Man and Crazy on You proved women could command hard rock with equal power to male counterparts. Magic Man reached number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100, while the album achieved platinum status. The commercial success came despite, or perhaps because, of the sisters refusing to compromise their hard rock vision for more commercially accessible pop. The Wilson sisters faced constant sexism from industry executives and media who couldn't comprehend female musicians creating legitimate hard rock rather than novelty pop. Critics and radio programmers initially dismissed them, unable to process women playing power chords and writing rock anthems. The album influenced every female-fronted rock band, from Joan Jett to Hailstorm. LZ Hale and Amy Lee both cited the Wilson sisters as primary inspirations for pursuing hard rock careers. Heart opened doors that remained closed to women in rock's sexist 1970s landscape. Dreamboat Annie balanced acoustic sensitivity with electric aggression, demonstrating range that silenced critics who dismissed them as gimmicks. The album established Heart as genuine hard rock innovators, regardless of gender, proving that rock power had nothing to do with chromosomes. Number 3. UFO, No Heavy Petting. Chrysalis Records released UFO's 5th album in May 1976, capturing Michael Schenker's guitar wizardry at its peak before personal demons derailed his career. The German guitarist, barely out of his teens, was already displaying technical abilities that left established players stunned. The live version of Dr. Doctor became hard rock's definitive showcase of guitar virtuosity and showmanship. Schenker's playing combined technical precision with emotional intensity, creating solos that were both impressive and musical. Phil Mogg's vocals and Pete Way's bass work complemented Schenker's playing without overshadowing it, creating balanced hard rock that influenced metal's technical evolution. The band functioned as a unit, but Schenker's guitar was the undeniable centerpiece. The album built UFO's cult following, despite limited commercial success, establishing them as musicians rather than mainstream stars. Guitar players knew, even if the general public didn't. Randy Rhoads studied Schenker's playing religiously before joining Ozzy Osbourne, calling him the primary influence on his neoclassical approach. Kirk Hammett and Metallica covered multiple UFO tracks, acknowledging Schenker's impact on metal guitar development. No heavy petting proved technical excellence could coexist with rock energy, influencing shred guitarists from Yngwie Malmsteen to Paul Gilbert. Schenker's subsequent struggles with addiction and instability elevated these recordings to legendary status, capturing brief perfection before the fall. Number 2. The Runaways. The Runaways. Mercury Records released rock's most controversial debut on June 1st, 1976, featuring 5 teenage girls playing hard rock and punk fusion. Joan Jett's rhythm guitar, Lita Ford's lead work, Cherie Currie's vocals, Jackie Fox's bass, and Sandy West's drums created Cherry Bomb and other songs celebrating teenage rebellion and sexuality. Producer Kim Fowley pushed the underage girls into provocative imagery that generated publicity and exploitation allegations that persist to this day. The line between empowerment and exploitation remained uncomfortably blurred. The music industry and media didn't know how to process teenage girls creating legitimate rock rather than manufactured pop. Critics dismissed them as jailbait novelty. Radio stations didn't know what to do with them. The rock establishment treated them as curiosities rather than serious musicians. Joan Jett became rock's most successful female artist after the Runaways dissolved, while Lita Ford achieved metal stardom in the 1980s. The band influenced the Riot Grrrl movement and every subsequent female rock group from L7 to the Pretty Reckless. History recognized their genuine musical contributions and pioneering spirit despite the initial dismissal. The album captured teenage girls refusing to wait for permission to rock, documenting a brief moment before industry pressure and internal conflicts destroyed the group, preserving teenage fury in its purest form. Number 1. Scorpions. Virgin Killer. RCA Records released the Scorpions' 4th album in 1976, featuring the Uli John Roth era lineup, creating proto-metal classics like Pictured Life and Catch Your Train. Roth's guitar work bridged Hendrix-inspired psychedelia with emerging metal aggression, influencing the new wave of British heavy metal despite the band's German origins. The music deserved attention for its quality and innovation. Roth's playing was groundbreaking. His compositional ideas were forward-thinking, and the Scorpions were developing a sound that would influence countless metal bands. Musically, Virgin Killer represented significant artistic achievement, but the original album cover overshadowed everything else. RCA commissioned artwork featuring a nude prepubescent girl with a shattered glass effect, creating immediate controversy that haunts the album 50 years later. The cover was later banned in multiple countries and replaced with alternative artwork showing just the band members. Online retailers removed it during the internet era, with some countries prosecuting people for possessing the original pressing. The controversy completely obscured Roth's guitar brilliance and the band's musical contributions before their 1980s commercial breakthrough with the Matthias Jabs lineup. The album represents rock's most uncomfortable collision between artistic expression and exploitation. The music stands as a significant document of 1970s metal development. The cover remains indefensible. This makes Virgin Killer simultaneously essential listening for Scorpions completists and permanently problematic, ensuring it remains rock history's most debated 50th anniversary in 2026. 1976 gave us the blueprints. Boston showed how perfectionist production could create arena rock perfection. Rush proved progressive complexity could find massive audiences. Kiss demonstrated that spectacle and substance could coexist. Aerosmith captured hard rock swagger at its absolute peak. AC/DC stripped rock to its essential power. Thin Lizzy combined poetry with thunder. Black Sabbath showed even titans could stumble, while creating brilliance. Rainbow bridged hard rock and metal's future. Blue Oyster Cult proved intelligence and accessibility weren't opposites. The Ramones reset rock to year zero. Judas Priest defined heavy metal itself. Heart smashed gender barriers. UFO showcased guitar mastery. The Runaways refused to wait for permission. And Scorpions created controversy that outlasted the music. These 15 albums didn't just define 1976, they constructed the foundation for everything that followed. 50 years later, their influence remains inescapable. Every modern rock and metal band stands on shoulders these albums built.